Okay, so it's time to get to work. We got 10 sprints that are 90 yards, walk back for your recovery, and you're going all out working on speed. Here we go, we're getting after it. So I was recently asked, Brian, how much protein do I need to be eating? And that sparked my idea to make this video of basically the foundation of protein. Why do we need it? Why is it so important? As most of us understand, protein is the foundation and the building blocks of muscle. But it's more than that. It's also the building blocks of bone, connective tissue, organs, skin, our brain, our nervous system. It makes up our DNA, the blueprint to who our body creates every single time your cells regenerate. And so that's why protein's so important. And without giving it the proper resources to rebuild and the extra bricks to rebuild these structures, we can't rebuild, and then we break down, we become weaker, our organs don't work as well, we don't see as well, our DNA doesn't replicate. And so for that reason, having a source of resources in protein and eating sufficient protein is extremely important for our sustainability in life. Alright, so I'm here in the kitchen. We're about to make a breakfast burrito, and the goal is to get our protein intake in. So for me, 160 pounds, transition that to kilos, it's about 79 kilos or so, and then multiply that by 0.4 and get 4 meals up to 1.6 grams per kilogram. So that's about 29 grams of protein that I need in this meal. Alright, so I'm going to start off cooking up 4 whole eggs to try and get my protein up. We'll also get some cholesterol, which is necessary in order to manufacture for the body to create testosterone. So that'll get me up to about 24 grams of protein just with these 4 eggs. While that's cooking, I'm going to put on some cheese to get that up to about 30 grams of protein. Now I'm all set on that. So I chose cheddar because I just like the sharp cheddar taste. It's really good. You can also, I'm cooking up the eggs and scrambling them versus doing them over easy. I think it's easier to use in a burrito, but eggs, the less cooking you do, the more raw they are, the more nutrition you actually pull from them, and the less the proteins get disrupted and denatured in the cooking process. So the research shows in a 2018 study that in the Journal of Sports Nutrition that you should really be eating, for those doing resistance training, should really be eating between 1.2 and 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So what are some good sources of protein? Like I used eggs in my breakfast. Other great sources, any sort of animal product. Beef, chicken, fish, turkey, eggs, dairy has some slow breaking down protein that's great before you go to sleep. If you're vegetarian or vegan, you can do soy, tofu, which is soy derived. And if you're vegan or vegetarian, it's a lot more difficult to get some variety of protein in. So the other thing you can do is I would recommend buying supplemental protein, either pea protein or soy-based protein, to add to any of your meals. If you make oatmeal smoothies, they're a great way to add stuff in. And they come in a variety of flavors. So that would be my recommendation. In order to get the serving size right, because counting calories can be annoying and tedious, I know sometimes I don't like it for that reason, you can also go with the precision nutrition method, which they've come up with great guidelines, and I'll post a link to that in the description down below, where you take your hand and base inside your hand. So for protein, specifically meat, but it also works for soy as well. Take a palm's worth, right? So it's just the palm's worth of your hand. 1 serving, about 20 grams of protein in each serving, and that varies depending on the type of meat that you have, or the type of protein that you take. But about that size, one palm's worth. Indicators are really based along with deficiencies in other nutrients. Excuse me. So for example, when you suffer from constipation, which often happens, if you eat too much protein, an to introduce more fiber into your diet, so that would be plants, plant-based foods, fruits, vegetables, etc. You may also suffer from bad breath, really like a fruity smelling breath, and that's typically because you don't have enough carbohydrates and most of your body is burning fat and protein for fuel. This often happens in diabetics who don't process insulin well when they go into low levels of carbohydrates in their blood or blood glucose. They will get this fruity smell in their breath, and that's indicative of really not using, going into ketosis and not using the fuel source of carbohydrates, which you need for performance. If you start to develop some sort of fat gain, or you start to gain mass that you don't anticipate, you don't want to, it's probably because you're eating too many calories, and so that's just something to keep your eye on, right? If you're going up in weight, you're probably eating too many calories. And then also, if you're getting a lot of your protein from dairy, you may have diarrhea. That could be indicative of a dairy intolerance, so keep your eye out for that. Okay, so I just finished up the workout. It was good, very intense but short duration and a long rest period, so I was able to recover quickly. As you can tell, I'm not really breathing that hard right now. So my challenge to us moving forward, going to next week, in order to make progress and grow a little bit this week, is keep track every day of how many grams of protein you eat, or how many of the palms worth of protein you eat, and I'll report in next week to give you an idea of the challenges I faced and all of that good stuff. And just a little bit more bonus for protein information. If you suffer an injury, because protein is the building blocks of your tissue, you need to maintain the same amount of protein consumption so that you continue to build up that tissue that's been damaged.